were Uday Hussein,
Uday Hussein.
Uday Hussein's
Uday Hussein.
Saddam's eldest son, Uday Hussein.
They found evidence of his crimes scattered throughout his palaces.
turns one of his companions into a human retriever.
Scarier than any nightmare, Uday Hussein. To truly understand this monster, we need to go back to the Middle East, to the country of Iraq. A land rich in oil reserves, one of the largest in the world. And what do countries with vast resources often lack? That's right, a dictator, like Gaddafi. But in Iraq, for 24 years, the man in charge was none other than Saddam Hussein. And today, we're not here to talk about Saddam himself, but his son, Uday Hussein. We all know Saddam tortured his opponents, so naturally, his son, raised in that environment, was never expected to grow into a gentle soul. But Uday was something far more sinister. If you're looking for redeeming qualities in him, you won't find any. What you'll find is pure evil. He was effectively the second most powerful man in Iraq, considering himself the rightful heir to his father's throne. That confidence gave him the freedom to do whatever he pleased, with no one to stop him. Uday partied constantly, drunk, high, or both. But these weren't just any parties. He handpicked women from across Iraq, and even from Eastern Europe, to attend his lavish events. And if you dared to decline his invitation, you were essentially signing your own death warrant. Drugs, alcohol, psychedelics. Uday made sure they were all present at his parties. If he fancied a woman, he would try to win her over. But if she refused, he would rape her without hesitation. Many of the women from Eastern Europe later testified they had been violently assaulted by him. And this was just the beginning. Uday was known to shoot guests at his own parties. He once even killed someone during an event, just for fun. Compared to that, rape was routine for him. When Saddam wanted someone tortured, guess who volunteered first? Uday. According to his former bodyguard, Uday Hussein was one of the most sadistic individuals to ever exist. He had an entire villa designed as a personal torture chamber, much of it inspired by Hollywood films.
Walking in here made me think of a medieval dungeon, dark, dirty, hidden.
One of his favorite devices? A steel belt lined with razor-sharp blades. The tighter it was fastened, the deeper the blades cut into the victim's flesh. He used it mostly on women who rejected him.
The U.S. military says the battery may have been used as a weapon of torture.
Uday loved football, so his father made him Iraq's Minister of Sports. And that's when the horror extended to athletes. No Iraqi athlete dared return from a competition without a medal, because Uday would punish them severely. He bet heavily on football matches, and if his team lost, he'd have the player responsible tortured, or worse. Even though Iraq was under strict sanctions from Europe and the US, Uday was put in charge of evading those sanctions. And surprisingly, he was incredibly smart when sober. He successfully smuggled in whatever the regime needed, and in doing so, built himself a life of unimaginable luxury. He imported exotic cars, amassing a collection worth over $100 million. And when the US invaded Iraq, he ordered all his cars burned, so the Americans wouldn't get a single one. Here's another story, one that shows the true depths of his depravity. One day, Uday attended a wedding, and there he saw the bride, and decided he wanted her. Yes, the bride. He turned to a friend and said, "I want to sleep with that woman." His friend was stunned. "You can't do that." But Uday didn't care. He ordered a private meeting with the bride that very night. When the groom asked what was going on, Uday's guards told him, "The president's son wants to give her a gift." That gift was rape. The bride returned, broken, and that same night she threw herself from a third-story window. She died in front of her husband. As if all this wasn't enough, Uday once shot and killed Saddam's personal bodyguard right in the middle of a formal gathering. Why? Because that guard had helped Saddam find a second wife. Uday hated the idea of his father remarrying and blamed the guard for it. So he argued with him, pulled out a gun, and shot him to death. Even though Uday was powerful, he knew this act would enrage his father. So immediately after the incident, he fled to Jordan. Saddam was furious. So much so that he initially planned to have his son killed. But after calming down, he sent a message to Uday: "Return to Iraq, go to prison. I won't kill you." Uday complied. But the moment he landed in Iraq, he was arrested and taken to a private villa. There, Saddam awaited and viciously beat his own son. Yet Uday knew his father wouldn't kill him, and he was right. After a few months in prison, Saddam pardoned him and offered him a diplomatic post in Switzerland. Uday liked the idea. He could continue his dark deeds far from supervision. But the Swiss government refused. They knew what kind of man he was, and they wanted no part of his horror show. Eventually, as history shows us, every tyrant falls. When the US invaded Iraq, Uday's hideout was revealed by the very people of Iraq. American forces surrounded the house and launched an assault, killing Uday. Months later, Saddam himself was captured and executed.
We heard that he was executed in Qadamiyya at the Iraqi military headquarters.
And once again, history reminded us, no matter how powerful, no matter how feared, tyrants always fall. Justice may be delayed, but it never forgets.